Good morning and welcome to Force for Growth Live. I'm Ricardo.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Courtney, and happy Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Reminder, you can catch us on Instagram at Force for Growth, and you can follow us on both Instagram and Facebook. And you can find us on all the other platforms at forceforgrowth.com. So thank you for joining.
Yes. How was everyone's weekend?
It was good. It's
It was
relaxing.
great.
Good weekend.
Yeah, great
Relaxing.
weekend.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was good. I had the privilege to attend the Business Mastery 2 by Tony Robbins. So it was definitely an exciting weekend. And I really enjoyed that it was a 2.5 day event. It started Friday night and ended Sunday night. So that was very nice and very convenient.
That
But
is pretty cool.
let's get with it.
Right at it. Okay. So we're talking challenges. It's our second Monday of the year. So we are confronting our challenges head on. And I want to talk to you about how you're approaching it. So we are going to start there. So stop looking at how others do it. Okay. And you're turning off your unlimited resource box in your brain when you automatically go to how others do it. So let me explain. So we get an idea and we get a goal and we get passionate about it and we get fired up about it. And what's the very first thing we typically do? We go Google it, right? We go Google, how has anyone done this before? What offers this service? Da, 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 da. And you literally shrink your potential to only what has already been accomplished by others. And that's a very dangerous area to be in. So we compare ourselves to them. We know comparison brings in negative feelings in the body. So I'm going to break this down a little bit more, but I want to pause. Do you see how these loops start? Do you see how you're confronting your goal in the beginning can make or break if you're actually going to achieve it at all? If you're actually going to even get halfway, right? So stop with the comparison. So that's my first thing, that just be very aware. So um just you're setting yourself up to find excuses. So don't let the passion expire because you just meddle in this area where I don't know if I can do what that person did. So problem number one is to stop asking how before digging your gold mine first. If you're only looking at how everyone else has done it, you're looking at a very small group of ideas, a very limited potential. But if you want to sit there and marinate on how you can do it, and this sounds awkward, I know it does, but like, for example, you'll get an idea. Instead of reaching for your phone, instead of reaching for Google, I challenge you, your conquest. Okay, right, because I don't like the word challenge, but your conquest, if you choose to accept it, write a list of 101 ways it could work or things you could make out of that idea before ever picking up your phone. So I'm not saying never research how people have done it. I'm not saying don't ever peek at that, because that's valuable information. That is not step one. It's step two, three, four. It's farther on down the line, okay, when you can actually look up and see where you are. So you are never tapping into your own magic if you just jump to how others have done it. You're completely skipping over that. And then you're trying to find your magic down the path. Well, you're already following someone else's trail, right? So how are you going to pave a new path? You're only stuck on a trail that's already been paved. So problem number two with that, we are not meant to know every step, you guys. You aren't meant to know every step at the beginning. This is a hard one to learn because it's a big challenges in life that'll teach you this, but you aren't meant to know every step at the beginning of a journey. Like, picture if you were to go on a road trip and get in your car, you could drive from California to New York at night, only seeing 200 feet in front of your car. Only the light of the headlights is all you actually need. Plus, we have our phones, right? So we GPS. But how are you approaching your goals? You're literally sitting there and like, no, if I don't have every turn memorized from California to New York, I can't even start the car. Pause. How dumb does that sound? I'm pointing at Courtney, okay? So I'm saying, how many trips, using the metaphor, would, if you had to know every turn before you turned on the car, would you take every trip you wanted to? No. And that's what you're doing right now. So I'm so passionate about this because it's really held me back. But jot this down. When it's time, the next step will be revealed to you. That's a big thing. And just truly trust that. So stop waiting for the guarantee. There is no guarantee that it will work. That's part of this lesson you've chosen to take on. And so, just spoiler alert, there is no guarantee. And just so much of society just waits and hopes for that guarantee that I promise you this will work if you just get up and go for it. And there's never a guarantee whether you get up and go for it or not. Okay. So that's where just truly aligning yourself with what you're passionate about, what you love, what lights your soul on fire, because it may or may not work, but the quality of your life is the moments, moment to moment, just stacked millions of times. So that's where I say really pick stuff that resonates because it's the journey, right? Michelle talks about that. So, okay, let's see. And then I did want to mention, spoiler alert, the folks who are planners, who do plan every single step, who consult with mentors before starting, 200% of the time, they have to make adjustments. So if you know that ahead of time and just start, just start. And I'd argue, and I've said it before on the podcast, that you don't know what perfect looks like until you're halfway in the process. You don't know what perfect is until you're standing in the middle of the storm, the tornado, and you're like, I can see this angle, this angle, this angle. You don't get a accurate view of what you want until you're in the mud, right? Like, so stop holding off for perfection and stop thinking the path is going to be perfect. It's not. But that's a lesson. So I just want to lay out kind of the boldest lessons and challenges for me. And that was right there. And just give yourself some credit and light up your own magic. And I know it sounds cheesy. Trust me, I know, but it works. And the list of 101, to break that down before I hand it over to them, you can go about it two ways. So the magic of the list of 101 is you're going to get started. So you can just lock yourself in a room with a notebook, leave your phone out of it. No phone allowed. Okay. By the way, that's required for this exercise. And just a list of 101 things. You're going to get to like 20 or 30 real easy. And then it's going to get extremely hard and you're going to start second guessing yourself. This is part of the process. Keep pushing through. And so it's going to happen maybe around 40, 50, 60. It's just going to be so hard to push through, but then your brain, something will happen. And suddenly you might be able to come up with more than 101 things. So that's typically the result of this exercise. If you actually do it, you come up with more than 101 because you've broken through. So the spoiler, you met a bigger side of yourself. You met a new version of yourself because you pushed through an excuse barrier. Oh, I don't know. I can't think of any more. That might be true, but it's only true if you live there. Okay, not if you keep pushing through. So your brain will answer any question you ask of it. So just keep asking better questions. And the other way you can do a list of 101 if you don't want to, you're an extremist like me and lock yourself in the room. But you can carry around a notebook for a week and just keep your reticular activating system will look for things. And so as you're going through your day, you'll think of things to put on the list. So both are very effective. But yeah, so stop asking how others do it, figure out how you could do it. And then step two, once you have your list of ideas, you can then look up and look at how others have done it, but not until you have your list.
Mm.
So, challenges.
I
I
like
love
it.
it. Yeah, me too. I'm
I,
going to start doing the list of 101 because the first thing I do is Google. So
mm.
I'm limiting myself there.
Be your own Google, Michelle.
What?
Be your own Google.
Be my own Google.
Yeah,
That's a good
Yeah,
point. We actually have that much intelligence in our
we
brain,
do.
you guys.
There's a lot in there.
we do. Be your own Google. Don't be scared to
Mhm.
be your own Google. You
Oh,
have the resources within you.
while we're
And
on Google, may I add real quick? Statistically speaking, Google picks some more negative things because that's what the human brain clicks on first. So the first primary things that will pop up are all negative. So if you're Googling something on your goal you're passionate about, do the math. Clickbait, negative. That's not going to help you feel better. That's not going to drive you
mm,
more. Okay. It's going to give you more ideas why it might not work.
the one thing that I starred, circled, and underlined with what you said, Courtney, was stop asking how. We get so caught up in the how, so caught up in the how that it really even stops us from moving forward. It doesn't help us. The how will come. The how will come. One of the things that I love to talk about and throw out there is think about something that you haven't started yet. Think about something that maybe you've been doubting yourself on even trying or attempting or trying to do it. Let's just say working out for 30 days for an hour a day. and you don't know how you could the thing is, you can't figure out how you can wrap your head around that goal. Or how am I going to do that? How am I going to find the time? How is this going to do this? How am I going to feel? How much? All these how, right? But if I give you $1 million at the end of the 30 days, will you figure it out?
Mhm. Yes.
Will you figure it out? Will the hows even hop into your mind if I said you got to start today, right now? You'll figure it out. That's what we do. We're very resilient human beings. Human beings are resilient by nature, and we can figure it out. We can figure it out. So why do you have to get caught up in the how if you know that you could figure it out? And I'll tell y'all a little secret. Most of the time, even when you have your perfect plan, steps 1 through 10, lined up, ready to go, most of the time, by the time you get to around 3 or 4, the plan changes anyways. How many of us have ever created this perfect plan on how you were going to do something and actually executed flawlessly from beginning to end without the plan ever changing?
It always changes.
I don't
It
know if I've
always
ever seen
changes.
it in my entire life, me and others.
So why spend so much time worrying about the how if you know that the plan may actually divulge? It's good to have a blueprint. It's good to have an idea and some kind of roadmap, but don't get caught up in the how. One of the analogies that Tony Robbins uses all the time is the airplane. An airplane is off course 80% of the time from from destination A to destination B. From when it takes off to where it lands, it's off course 80 to 90% of the time. And it's always making adjustments. It's always making adjustments based on weather, air traffic, and other factors that come into play.
Do you mean feedback? Making adjustments
Ooh,
based off feedback?
yeah, there you go. But it's off course. But does it still get you to where you want to go? Yes. But does it always take the same course to get there? Mm, no. You'll
No.
still get there.
Yeah, and even, like, the 3 of us right here can be headed for the exact same destination, and, well, one's near Fort Worth, one's near Frisco, one's near Wiley. So it's like, literally, you can't even following somebody else's perfect plan that you paid X amount of dollars for and got a free coaching session with. I didn't say that. It's not gonna necessarily work because it's not your plan. It's not analyzing you first, your potential. It doesn't have to be something real yet. Like, it doesn't have to be something tangible that you're like, "Oh, that has happened." That I mean, I'm saying imagine, dream, fantasize, write it down.
I
Go
think
for it.
trust the process, like you said, also, but trust even the end result may change on your journey because you may start out from point A headed to point B, and as that path changes, all of a sudden point B might change too. And instead of going to, B, you all along were supposed to go to C, but had you not started on the journey and trusted the journey, you never would have known.
And I love that it's yeah, kind of, well, Michelle will when she has her topic on challenges, she'll go deeper on that. But yeah, I've learned a lot in that from you specifically. So
Mm.
thanks for that.
Ryan is bringing it. He says, are we better starters or are we better adjusters?
We have to start to adjust anything.
Hmm.
That's a dynamite question.
Yeah.
Dynamite question.
Dynamite.
Michelle, are you a better starter or are you a better adjuster?
I think I'm a better adjuster, which is a good thing, but I have trouble starting. So, like Courtney's saying, you've got to start and then make the adjustments. I'm pretty good at pivoting. I'm not very good at starting because I do exactly what Courtney's talking about. I want to plan every step out before I even start. And if I would just start more often, I would make more headway.
Nice. Great answer.
Yeah.
Courtney Carr,
Yes.
are you a better starter or an adjuster?
I'm a better adjuster. So all of that are lessons I've learned with starting, and that's my challenge right now. When I have an idea, if I hesitate, just like a bull, just charge at it, because I need to strengthen that muscle of no, I want to try this now. I said now. We don't need to fill in the blank. We don't need to get here. We don't need to make this much money. We don't need to be, I don't have this certification. Like, just stop. Stop. You're limiting your magic. Anytime those sentences start off like that, oh, I'll be ready when. You just limited your magic.
Hmm.
And so, adjuster. So, I'm a much better adjuster, but I would love to be a better starter.
So
Jesse,
yeah,
go ahead. I was
yeah.
gonna, yeah, go ahead, Ricardo.
Oh man,
She's your
Jesse.
lady.
Jesse just commented. She says Ricardo is great at starting. Then I am good at adjusting, which I think helps us. It does. I'm a great starter. I'm a great starter, but man, when it comes to adjusting, whoo boy, I
You
don't
gotta,
adjust very well. I'm like, once I set a course, I'm like, let's go. I don't have time to adjust. I don't have time to turn. I don't have time to pivot. I don't have time to change my thought. It's like, let's go.
the great point I think that that brings up is find someone or a tribe or a team or surround yourself with people who help you with the things that you're not good at. So, Ricardo, you're great at starting. Jesse's great at adjusting. So, together, you guys are, you know,
We're
a
good.
force for growth.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Here I will say this. Before, like, the Justin thing has always been a thing, but before I used to be like Sonic the Hedgehog and just go. No adjusting, no pivoting, no nothing, no change of course, and I would hit a brick wall. It didn't work. And then when I hit that brick wall, I would just stop because I would refuse to adjust. Then I became a bulldozer. So now I'm chugging along, chugging along, chugging along, chugging along, and I hit the brick wall and then I just run over it. But then that's really not the best way to go about it. Then Jesse came along, and now I'm a nice car, chilling, going down the road, and she's like, "Babe, we got to turn here." And I'm like, "Ah, okay, fine." Then I turn, and then we keep going, and I'm like getting happy. I'm getting excited because we're going, going, going. She's like, "Babe, we got to turn over here." Okay, fine. And then I turn. Works much better.
You raise a very good point though. One, in your relationship, are you an adjuster or starter? And could you complement your partner's natural habit? But you can't have one or the other at all. You can't just start, because I mean that airplane will end up in like Cuba, or I don't know, like somewhere completely opposite direction. Whereas you can't just adjust. You need something to adjust, right? So that's a valid, like, you have to be both. Oh, and Ryan did add, I wonder what would happen if I looked at adjustments as new beginnings. So that's another one. If you're a better starter, think of adjust. I love the word pivot that Michelle uses. So think of when you have to pivot, like it's just as exciting as starting. You know, it's you're one step closer. You're just that you're warmer, and the hot or cold, like we used to play when we were kids, you know.
It's good. That still doesn't mean that I like to adjust. I'll just throw that out there.
Hey, we live
I
honesty.
still cringe a little bit, like, because it seems like I get off course. It seems like I get off course, and it seems like it's when I adjust that it's going to take me longer to achieve what I want to achieve instead of just bulldozing through and getting it done. But the adjusting and going around and pivoting and turning when you got to, it's a more elegant way to go about it.
Do you have success with kind of, okay, so if you struggle with adjusting, have there been times where you've not adjusted, just started, but like forced, like a square peg in a round hole, you
Oh
forced it
yeah,
through because
oh
it
yeah.
happens, because we know you. I mean,
I know you guys love that square peg in the round hole, but man, let me go get my sledgehammer right quick. We'll fix that real quick. We'll get it in there. It won't be pretty.
You'll make that whole square.
We'll make that whole square. It'll fit.
Yeah.
It'll fit. We might destroy the whole table and the whole the whole little set, but it'll get in there.
Right.
And again, it's not the most effective, and I don't recommend it. I've been there. But I like to know that it is a tool that I can pull out and leverage when I need to.
Yeah. It's
But
just our toolbox is so vast, you guys. It's huge. Stop forgetting about it.
yeah, wow. Then that's a challenge on its own, right? That's one of the
Mhm.
challenges that we face is do you have the right tool for the job?
We'll talk about that. I'll add that. We'll talk about that later in the
Yeah,
month.
that's a big one. It's all in the head, guys.
Yeah.
It's all in the head. Sometimes you don't need a sledgehammer. And just a little bit on that, now that we're talking about tool sledgehammers and do you have the right tool? If you're a hammer, everything's a nail. To the hammer, everything's a nail. But you don't always need a hammer. And it's not always a nail.
Good advice.
Think about that. Big brain, big brain, big brain.
And make that 101 list before you Google and
Yes.
use that big brain.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hey, y'all send me. Okay, we'll powwow on this. We'll think of a good prize. Send me your picture of 101 lists. You can just
Mm.
find my personal Facebook page, send me a picture of it, and yeah, we'll do a drawing for a prize. Let's come on. I'll
Or
do a
do
list of 101 today.
or do
As I say
hashtag
that.
or do hashtag Force for Growth on Instagram or Facebook, and we can
Yep.
find your post.
Yes. Yes. So why not? Let's just add a challenge. But I got some awesome books over here that
You can tag us on Instagram and Facebook at Force for Growth.
yes.
And then from there, you can find Courtney on her personal Instagram and Facebook, of course.
Yes.
Wow. This was a great episode, guys. This was fun. This was good. All right. Real quick round. Michelle, final thought, challenges, week 2.
Um, Final thought, enjoy the journey. And I think that if you enjoy the journey, even if you do have to pivot or make adjustments and it's going to take longer, like you referred to, Ricardo, if you're enjoying the journey, who cares if it takes longer?
Yeah. Good thought. Courtney,
Yes.
challenges, part
Just
2.
yes,
Final
stop
thought.
turning off your magic. Stop turning like you don't even turn the machine on to your potential when you have a thought and immediately go to compare to what others have done. So just swim in the orbit of that space for a few minutes, just a few minutes, jot 10 ideas down. If just something where you can marinate there. And it just, I don't know, it's that copy and paste society that we live in. And I just truly believe a lot of people would know themselves a lot better and would be a lot happier and actually know the steps to their path if they sat in that space for maybe 5 minutes before they went to comparison and how da 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 da. It's a downward spiral that you can control and you're missing the most vital point. So just turn on your potential for a few minutes and then look at what others have done. And it's
Mm,
never, never a comparison. You are not them, they are not you.
true.
It's never a comparison.
Man, for me, the thought that came up was don't be scared to get off the path. Even when you're off the path, that might actually be the right path for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the challenges that we have to accept within ourselves is this the right path? Because I know that we like to ask ourselves that all of the time. Am I on the right path to achieve the goal that I want to achieve? And as long as you're breathing, eating, and living, you're on the right path. Boom.
Yes.
Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We'll be back on Wednesday. Remember to like and share. Follow us on at Force for Growth on Instagram and Facebook. And if anyone knows Matthew McConaughey, hit us up.
Yes. Yes.
Let him know that a Longview boy, a Longview Lobo, needs him on the podcast. Go
Yeah.
Lobos. Have a great day,
Oh,
everybody, and we'll be back on Wednesday.
yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye,
y'all.
guys.